The curtain is closing on Carlo Ancelotti's Real Madrid reign. And this time, it's for real. The eyebrow archer-in-chief, Champions League whisperer, and calmest man in football is packing up his playbook.
I am a record man. Champions League, I had the luck to come here last year
And while the Bernabéu prepares to say ciao to its beloved Silver Fox, the bigger story might be what comes next. Because let's face it, the 2024-25 season has been more dramatic than a telenovela and about as joyful as a missed penalty in the 90th minute. Barcelona didn't just beat Madrid this season. They swept them off the pitch and into a history book they'd rather not reopen. 4 𝐿-Clásicos, 4 losses. The most painful? A 3-2 defeat in extra time during the Copa del Rey final on April 26th, handing Barca their 32nd title. And with no Champions League or Supercopa glory to soften the blow, this season joins the sad scrapbook of Madrid's trophyless years. But here's the thing, Real Madrid doesn't stay down, ever. Which brings us to the midfield general turned managerial prodigy, Xabi Alonso. He's not just the likely heir to the throne, he might be the man to script Madrid's next great revival. Let's break down why. For those who think Real Madrid's current meltdown is a one-off, think again. One minute, they're storming Europe, the next, they're tripping over their own 𝐿-Galacticos. And here's the kicker. It's happened before, almost beat for beat. Let's rewind. Remember 2014? Madrid put Bayern Munich in a blender in the Champions League semis. Extra time? No problem. They ran riot and brought 𝐦𝐨𝐫𝐸 home. But then came the plot twist. 2015. Madrid crashed out of La Liga, got KO'd by Atletico in the round of 16 in the Copa, and got bounced by Juventus in the Champions League semis. And to make matters worse, Barcelona pulled off a historic treble under Luis Enrique. Ouch. Fast forward 10 years. Déjà vu, anyone? In 2024, Real once again conquered Bayern with late Bernabéu magic and went on to lift the Champions League by beating Borussia Dortmund 2-0. Sound familiar? Yeah, because here we are again in 2025, out of the Copa, out of the Champions League, and trailing Barcelona in La Liga. The rhythm of pain is back. Speaking of Barca, they've been partying like it's 2015. Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, and Lewandowski are lighting up scoreboards in true MSN style. They've already claimed the Copa del Rey, are leading La Liga, and made it to the Champions League semis, only to fall agonizingly short to Inter in a 7-6 thriller. The treble dream? Crushed, but barely. Now here's the kicker. This isn't just a cycle, it's a setup. Because history isn't just repeating, it's preparing us. For what, you ask? Well, if you look at Real Madrid's history, collapse is never the final chapter. So, Carlo Ancelotti is bowing out, and Madrid is handing the keys to yet another club legend. Sounds familiar? It should. Because back in 2015, after a roller coaster season, the club rolled the dice on a certain Zinedine Zidane, an icon with about as much managerial experience as your cousin's football manager save file. The result? 3 straight Champions League titles. Bold gamble, huge payoff. Now in 2025, Madrid's pulling a similar move. But this time, it's not a gamble. It's more of a strategic power play. This power play's name is Xabi Alonso, of course. Classy midfielder, tactical mastermind, serial line breaker when he played, and now a title breaker on the touchline. At Bayer Leverkusen, he didn't just do well, he rewrote history. First ever Bundesliga title, check. DFB Pokal, done. So, is Alonso ready for Real Madrid? Let's be real, he's more ready than Zidane ever was. Unlike Zizou in 2016, Alonso comes with a fully loaded resume and actual top-flight experience. The man turned Leverkusen from Bundesliga underachievers into German juggernauts. And while Zidane was loved for his aura and calm leadership and cheekbones, let's be honest, Alonso combines that same quiet authority with a tactical sharpness forged in Europe's toughest leagues. And here's where it gets spooky. Just like Zidane, Alonso knows the Madrid DNA inside and out. The pressure, the politics, the paparazzi, he's seen it all before. So don't ask if Xabi's the right man. The better question is, how quickly will he make Madrid terrifying again? Zizou's rise wasn't just surprising, it was cinematic. No top-flight experience, no long managerial resume, just an intimate understanding of Real Madrid's soul. He was Madrid. He didn't need time to adjust because he lived the pressure, the spotlight, the need to win. It's what made his three-peat Champions League miracle feel like destiny rather than chance. But here's where Xabi Alonso might one-up his predecessor. Alonso doesn't just bring that deep Bernabéu DNA. He arrives armed with experience and a recent highlight reel that feels almost unreal. At Bayer Leverkusen, he didn't just win, he created a mentality. You remember Fergie time? Welcome to Xabi time. It wasn't luck, it was resilience, a belief system, a footballing gospel preached by a manager who turned Leverkusen into comeback kings and strung together a 51-match unbeaten run. And tell me that doesn't sound like Real Madrid's brand of drama. Glorious, heart-stopping, last-gasp chaos. So let's ask the question that's been hovering like a well-placed cruise corner. What took so long? Why didn't Alonso return to Madrid earlier? Simple. Timing. A year ago, he was still building an empire in Leverkusen. But now, the stars have aligned. The throne is vacant, and Madrid needs a new leader with calm eyes and ice in his veins. And let's be honest, this transition feels more like a baton pass than a managerial switch. Back in 2016, Zidane was seen as Ancelotti's spiritual successor, a midfield general turned locker room whisperer. Now, nearly a decade later, Alonso is stepping into that same spotlight. But he's not just echoing Ancelotti's vibes, he's inheriting his legacy. If Ancelotti was all about the cool comeback, Alonso is ready to turn that into an art form. But don't mistake Alonso for a copy of those who came before. Yes, he played under Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola, Rafa Benitez, and Ancelotti himself. And sure, their influences are visible. Guardiola's positional play, Ancelotti's calm authority, even a touch of Mourinho's pragmatism. But Alonso blends it all into his own philosophy. Possession with punch, control with chaos, elegance laced with grit. What makes Alonso special isn't just who taught him, but how he's learned. And at just 43, he's already carved out a style that feels equal parts classic and cutting edge. That's not rebuilding, that's rebooting the dynasty. So as Ancelotti exits stage left, a cooler, younger tactician steps into the frame. The pressure is massive. The expectations? Intergalactic. But if you've been paying attention, you already know. This isn't the end. It's the pilot episode of something massive. What are your thoughts on Xabi? Do you think he's the missing piece of this giant puzzle? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit subscribe, smash that like button, and ring the bell so you never miss another football story. See you at the next one.